I wonder if my sound effects I wonder if I can still use my sound effects on this shit. Like, what the fuck? This is so weird as fuck, but extremely weird. I don't like it.
Hachi Machi.
Are there any drugs in this house?
Yes.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
I don't need to see what the fuck is going on. I don't need to know what's going on in the world to know what to talk about. Because I know what I want to talk about for the most part. I think I know what I want to talk about. When did it become I mean, I get it. Like the NBA is trying to be like the woke league, woke rules. Like, it's never okay to be violent. You know, they want to change the quote unquote culture. I guess, but like, when did it become such a big deal for a nigga to get punched in practice? Like when? When did that become a big deal? Niggas get punched in practice. It happens. Like, I've only played sports on the middle school and high school level. Niggas get punched in practice, bro. If you watch Hard Knocks, you ever watch Hard Knocks on HBO? They show like the practices of whatever team is gonna suffer the Hard Knocks curse. Because any team that's on Hard Knocks always has a terrible fucking season. It's like the Madden curse. But yeah, if you watch Hard Knocks, niggas fight in practice. It happens. And then it's like, yo, Draymond is Draymond. Yo, let me tell you something. I was telling Drink this shit like a couple weeks ago. Draymond is Rodman. Draymond is modern day Rodman. But still, he's like a Ron Artest, Rodman, Dennis Rodman type dude. Especially like Rodman. Because Rodman was controversial and taboo at the time because he was like dressing like a woman and wearing weird shit and dyeing his hair all weird colors and marrying himself. He married himself. If you don't know that, he wore a wedding dress. He could have married himself and been the groom, but the nigga decided to be a bride.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
He decided to be the bride and married himself, and that kind of shit was controversial. But if an NBA player was to do that now, they'd be applauded, lauded, celebrated. They'd have a parade. Not just the gay parade. They'd have their own gay parade. You know what I mean? Like, they'd be so happy, and the NBA would make it a point to, like, push that shit. But Draymond is the new not okay. He's the new controversial, the new taboo. But yeah, man, it's like, and okay, so Draymond is kind of like the new quote unquote bad guy of the NBA. And him and Jordan Poole got into it, which, the initial response from Klay Thompson and Steph Curry to that shit let me know that they kind of were like, yeah, it happens. People fight. Draymond is Draymond. But Draymond is the anchor and the enforcer of that team. You know what I mean? So I'm guessing that Jordan Poole probably was getting a little too big for his britches after they won that championship, this past championship. And maybe he was talking a little too saucy. And I don't think Klay or Steph none of them was really feeling that shit. So when Draymond did that, they was like, and yes. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Yeah. And then not only that, but then Jordan pushed him. They was talking shit. You see Draymond approach this nigga, right? Like, nigga, right? I'm like, and then I see niggas on the internet. He got in his personal space. So Jordan Poole pushed him. Okay, Jordan Poole attacked. If I push you, nigga, that's an attack. If I'm just in your face talking shit, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not one of those kind of people. I'm not about to, nigga, all that shit where you see niggas like talking in the nigga ear like this and nigga face like this. Like, nah, I don't do that shit. I'm not doing that. If I approach you, nigga, I'm gonna touch you. That was just anyway. You know what I mean? But he ran up, and that's what I'm saying. Draymond at first hit him with the nigga, you want a jaw? I'm a jaw with you. I'm gonna talk shit, but I'm gonna talk shit in your face, nigga. If you push me, you that's contact, nigga. You make contact with me, nigga. So I'm gonna make contact with you. And then Draymond fucking hit him with the the Superman punch. Like he leaned into that shit. Like you do that. Like when you punch somebody, if you punch somebody correctly, you have to fucking follow through. Like you have to follow through. And Draymond decided to jump and follow through. Like nigga jump, like yeah. And then you see just fucking Jordan Poole hit the fucking thing behind him the fucking what's the shit like the mat that be on the wall and shit. You know what I mean? And then they just like went like this and like, you know what I mean? Like he didn't want to feel no more of them shits. Jordan Poole ain't want to feel no more of them shits. But everybody's making a whole fucking big deal about it. Okay, Draymond punched him. Big fucking deal. It's not like he slapped him in the parking lot. Slapped him on the court. Niggas fight. It happens. You know what I mean? People fight in practice, bro. It happens, my niggas. Tensions are high, as they say. You know what I mean? Like, niggas gonna fight in practice. It's not a big deal. Like, who gives a flying fuck? It's because now everybody's so fucking sensitive about everything. So even if you don't feel like they have to pretend like it's a big deal. You have to pretend like it's a big deal that the fact that the video leaked, that's the real problem. A couple people have said that, and I agree. That's the real issue. That's the real shit you need to nip in the bud in your organization, is the fact that somebody who's within your practice recorded that shit and then, leaked it to TMZ or whoever the fuck. You know what I mean? But then again, the team probably leaked it. You know what I mean? It's like, it could be just part of some narrative storyline bullshit. Who knows? Who knows what the fuck is going on? I'll tell you this, though. If Draymond go to another team, he needs to stay with the Warriors. Because if Draymond goes to another team, all that shit that he does is not gonna fly because he doesn't produce. See, he can just like kind of like do the shit that he does in Golden State because it does help. Like people just see this nigga like, trying to fight niggas, but he's getting in people's head, bro. He's a pest. Same shit Rodman used to do. Rodman wasn't gonna give you no points, but he's gonna get hella offensive rebounds. He's gonna get hella defensive rebounds, and he's gonna defend hard as fuck. You know what I mean? And he's gonna be a fucking pest. He's gonna bother them. He's going to bug them. Did you see how he was getting under Jaylen Brown's skin, my nigga? He was getting under Tatum's skin. He wasn't even guarding Tatum. He was getting under his skin. You know what I mean? Like, that's his job. His job is to be a fucking bug. That's his job. You know what I mean? Just bug niggas. Like, you know what I mean? And he's good at it. It's the same shit that Rodman used to do. He's the new Rodman. That's all. But that's the shit that's controversial now. Controversial now is, you're a violent person. What's wrong with you? Violence is never the answer. I mean, if you think about it, Jordan Poole, he's at his job. He just got assaulted. That's like if I had a bad month in sales and then my manager just punched me in the face. No, it's not the same. Different. He plays sports for a living. It's just different. It just is. Can it just be that? Like what's good with niggas? Like why do we have to be in this shit where it's like everything has to fall under the same umbrella of conduct? It just doesn't. It's not like that. It's different. Yeah, it's like, oh, so because he's a basketball player, he can punch a coworker? Yes. But I don't know who the fuck works for the Warriors and doesn't make enough money where they need to sell where they need to sell that to TMZ and get, I don't know. I'm just guessing for something like that, you'd probably get like, let's just say high end 50K. Like, do you think viewer audience, do you think that TMZ is paying upwards of $100,000 for that kind of footage? I mean, possibly it started like a little media storm. So what it entails and the catalyst that it is, I guess can, up the price. But I'm just saying, like, I just can't see nobody getting paid a bunch of fucking money for that shit. It just, who gives a fuck? And then it's like, if you work for the Warriors, you work for the Golden State Oakland Warriors, how is that like, what's so appealing about that to you? You know what I mean? That they might just be trying to get Draymond the fuck out. Because Draymond want the max. For those of you who don't watch sports and shit, the max is just, he wants the most money that he can get for his services. What the fuck is going on with this fucking green screen? Whatever. This is just a test run. I'm figuring things out. But this is the thing, right? If they're trying to get rid of Draymond because they don't want him to take the max, I guess. I can't see any other reason for this shit to get leaked. And then I also can't see any other reason for like anyone to give a fuck. He punched Jordan Poole, nigga. Jordan Poole is like maybe the fourth best player on that team. Him and Wiggins, like, but if you ask me, Andrew Wiggins is the better player. So he's the fourth best player on the team. And you know, Draymond is like the quote unquote heart and soul of the team. You know what I mean? You know, he's the backbone of the team. You know, so he has more seniority because he was there before they were. Draymond was there before when Golden State wasn't shit. Before they ever won a championship ever, Draymond was there. So he has seniority as in like, nigga, I was here before this shit was even anything. You came here after we had already won championships, boy. You know what I mean? I guess. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe Jordan Poole was there the whole time, just like at the fucking deep end of the bench. I don't know. But as far as I know, I hadn't heard of Jordan Poole until like fucking maybe like 3 seasons ago. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't even heard of that nigga. So I don't know. But he was a fucking essential role. He had an essential role. He was an essential part of the championship last year. You know, he was a part of it. He was involved, nigga. You know, but it's like he might have just, and obviously I'm just speculating, but he might have just got a little big for his britches. He just might have been feeling himself just a little too much. You know, he might have just felt like his input or his contribution was maybe just a little more than the rest of the team thought, or maybe they just felt like, nigga, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like it might, and I said, yo, Jordan Poole might have deserved this, or not deserved it, but he might have just needed that. A little humbling. Just a little crack, just humbling for a second. It happens. It's sports. Like sports is not like anything else. It's not like other shit. It's not like fucking, some fucking faggot on the internet is like, oh, well, I'm an accountant, and what if, bitch? Okay, it would never happen at your job. What do you do? You know what I mean? It's different. It's way. There's a million things about it that are different than a regular job, man. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you have an off season? Just your job. Nigga, does the warehouse you work at stacking boxes, does it have a fucking off season, nigga? Like, maybe if you're seasonal. I'm just saying, there's no off season. There's a lot of things about that shit that are fucking different. I did it by mistake on the first time, and then the third time I did it for emphasis. But yeah, man, like, you know what I mean? Like, the fuck, bro. It's sports, bro. What do you want? It's like with the Boston Celtics coach, Ime Udoka, whatever the fuck that nigga name. Ime Udoka. Yo, that shit was wild, man. It was wild because when you see the bitch that he fucked, it's like, I get it, bro. Like, all right, you got 82 games. People, once again, if anybody doesn't watch sports, there are 82 games in the NBA season. 82, right? 82 games that man is away from his family, away from his wife, right? Like, what do you expect him to do? It's not like he's a nigga with no options. It's different when you're a nigga with no options. He's a nigga with no options. It's like, oh, well, nigga got options. And trust me, that bitch who he fucks, looking at her, it's like, nigga, she looked like she wanted to people who like stretch the players out. Like, you know what I mean? Like she wanted got a job like that, like physical therapy or something. You know what I mean? Just looking at her. I mean, and not only that, no disrespect. Put it like this: there may be disrespect, but I mean no disrespect when I say this. She probably fucking a couple of the players too. Like, how the fuck you think Ime Udoka fucking found out that, you know what I mean, that was the way to go? You know what I mean? Or vice versa. Ime Udoka's probably fucking other bitches at the fucking, in the organization. That's how it goes. It's like high school. That's how most jobs are now. They're just like high school. Everybody acts like a fucking child. Petulant child. But yeah, man, I mean, that shit was hilarious just because, like, everybody was like, he's married to fucking what's her name? The chick from she was in Friday. That's where she was her finest. That's where she was at her finest. When she was in Friday, that's when she was at her finest. I forget her name though. Nia Long, right? Nia Long is she's especially like when it comes to like black people and hood. She a classic. You know what I mean? She a classic. You turn that on, niggas are like, oh shit. Nia Long she was fun as fuck. But it's like, nigga, yeah, time does a number. But see, the thing is, this is like, and then also people are gonna say, because when they see the other woman, they're gonna say, really? You gonna cheat on her when they're alone? Yes, I'm on the road. We're in fucking Utah. Like, and it's better for me to not fuck with some broad off the street. You know what I mean? Who I don't know what her fucking motives are, which is crazy because then with this shit, what happened end up happening to you anyway, bro. You know? Damn, bro, you should have stayed in the hotel, just beat your dick. You know, you should have stayed in your hotel room, beat your dick. Hey, man, let me tell you something. Then this bitch tried to come back and tell them they were unwanted advances you had. You fucked them. Like, so you're just like, oh, this guy keeps hitting on me. Maybe he'll stop if I lay down. Like what? Fuck out of here. Man. Fuck out of here. So initially the advances weren't wanted. But he just what do they call it? What do white guys call it? Yeah, he wore you down just like over time. Please, 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 please. And you're just like, okay. It's one of those. Really, you trying to tell me that? I don't believe it. I refuse. You know what I mean? And then little shorty from ESPN, Michaela something or whatever. Yo, she fine. She's like, you could tell with her, once again, no disrespect. That bitch, yo, she seems like a try hard for what? She seems like a super try hard. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it real. You know what I mean? Stephen A. Smith is a try hard too. We all watch it. We all see it. Yeah, the unmitigated gall. You ain't gonna sit up here. I ain't gonna sit up here. All that bullshit. As a black man, all that nonsense. But he's a try hard too. But she's a try hard, and she thinks she's smarter than everybody. You can tell she thinks she's smarter than everybody. There's nothing wrong with being aware and knowing that you're smarter than some people, but don't assume you're smarter than everyone. You know what I mean? You just get that kind of sense off her. It's like that fucking, you know what I mean? It's just I don't know. It radiates off her. It's just like she just seems like really like she seems like she can be kind of like condescending, but she kind of was that day when she got into it with Stephen A. Smith. Basically, Stephen A. Smith's point was she needs to be fired too. The chick who Ime Udoka had sex with, she needs to also be fired. You know what I mean? And the woman's like, well, why are you going to drag her name through the mud and drag her into it? And this is the problem, and blah, blah, blah. Women, and this is what women go through, and blah, blah, blah. This, that, and the third. And it's like, nigga, she broke the rules. You get that, right? He broke the rules too. He broke the rules. He fraternized with a fucking co-worker. You know what I mean? Another member of the organization, which is probably something that was in the fucking contract and they tell you not to do. They make you take sexual harassment course and all this shit now. And so it's emphasized not to fuck with other people because it's bad for business. You don't shit where you eat. But we all know that it happens. There more people than anything who are like in relationships, married and all that kind of shit, they meet at work. It's just you know what I mean? And there are these certain like loopholes and rules and all this kind of shit. But a lot of places they don't want it. They don't want to deal with it at all. But it happens. What the fuck are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't want to lose a good person because, especially if it's consensual and mutual and they both love each other, whatever the fuck, whatever. You know what I mean? But in that sense, in that instance, in that whatever, that's why they don't, because it got messy. Something happened that made it messy. Something happened to make it messy and make her tell. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. Something happened and shit got messy. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the rules are the rules. She signed the same fucking employment contract. When you apply for a job and you get a job, you sign a contract, employee contract, right? And it says all these shits, I hereby, blah, 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 section 1, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she signed the same shit. So no, she was not supposed to have sex with him. Well, it was unwanted advances. Okay, so did he assault you? Did you not have sex with him? No, it was consensual sex, but when he first hit on her, she was like, oh, I didn't like that. You know, she had to think about it. She had to go home and think about it. Like she had to think about it, you know. She had to rub one out and think about it. It's like, get the fuck out of here. But that's what I'm saying, yo. You talk all this equality shit. You don't really want equality, ladies. Ladies, get funky.
Okay, settle down, prostitutes.
You know, like with these women, they really don't want equality. They want preferential treatment. And women all always kind of got that. You know, it's like if a woman slaps the shit out of a man and he punches her in the face in response, people are gonna say, yo, they're gonna say to the guy, the fuck is wrong with you? That's preferential treatment. Because in any other scenario with any other thing where the genders are the same, people are like, well, they slapped him. So he punched him. You understand what I'm saying? So that's not equality, it's preferential treatment. Why is she not held to the same standard? I thought it was equality. I thought we're equal. Equal means same. Right here, even keel. Not, oh, I'm right here, but you're like right here. Because it's like, she's a lady. No, fuck out of here. What do you want? You want it or not? That equality shit, yo, you want it or not? You know what I mean? Cop the shit or not, my nigga. I'm not about to sit here all night. Damn, you gonna pull up? They showed her picture, and she looked so like, and I'm one to talk, right? Yeah, she's like very plain Jane. Like it's just like it just doesn't seem worth it. Then come to find out, the broad is also married to somebody else in the organization. So she's married to someone who works within the Celtics team, right? Who works for the Celtics team as whatever, some kind of administrative position, probably, or maybe sports doctor. Who knows, right? Whatever, sports medicine department. Who knows? Marketing, be a million things. But that guy works. So then that's like, shouldn't a little tiny bit more of the onus be on her because you're embarrassing your husband in your workplace, Dookie. He's embarrassing Nia Long. He's embarrassing his wife. But then again, you don't know their fucking situation. You don't know their agreement. You don't know how they swang. You don't know how they rock. You know what I mean? That's for one. And then for two, it's like she doesn't work there. She's not a part of the organization. You know what I mean? She's an actress. So she has nothing to do with basketball. But that lady, your husband works for the Celtics. So it's like the disrespect. Like, you know what I mean? That's the real shit. It's like you're disrespecting the fuck out of it. And that's why Ime Udoka is definitely, he's been suspended for the year, definitely, or some, I don't know, some shit, whatever. Because once again, we've gotten to the shit in society where it's trial by public. You know what I mean? It's like trial by public. You know what I mean? Or trial by media. That's really what it is. A team will say, or an organization will say, well, we're not really looking at that as a big deal. Everybody else goes, it's a big deal. What? Are you kidding me? It's not a big deal. And then they have to go back in and, actually, we're going to suspend them indefinitely. And they're just going to end up firing them. And you might as, if I was him, I'd quit. You're going to suspend me for the year? For the entire 82 games? I'm suspended? Fuck that shit, I quit. I can go get a job somewhere else. There are other places that would be happy to let me coach their team to the NBA Finals and, have sex with the marketing guy's wife. They wouldn't give a shit. Their franchise is so bad, certain dudes would be like, hey, listen, if you ever want to take a crack at my wife, I mean, we made out of the second round of the playoffs. That hasn't happened in 30 years here at blankety blank team. So, I mean, if you want to take a crack at my wife, Ime Dookie, you go ahead, bro. Also, at the very, 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 very end of the day, at 11:59 p.m., nigga, that nigga Ime Udoka, you're an asshole. You're an idiot, bro. Like, you know you're going to be held to a different standard. You know you're going to be scrutinized in a different way. You know what I mean? Not necessarily more or less, just different. You know what I mean? You're going to be scrutinized in a different way. And also, beyond all that, you know the rules, bro. You know you're not supposed to do that shit. Just leave that bitch alone, bro. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. And I know, like, she probably... See, I'm going to say this. Seeing her face, she's not, like, super, super attractive. I mean, she's not the ugliest bitch I've ever seen. She's not super, super attractive, but looking at her face, she looks like she sucks souls. She looks like a succubus. She's like she out here sucking up souls. So I'm guessing Ime was just like, man, that was a rough practice today. I had to go through this fucking, and these guys are, it was like, wait, hold on, let me get my phone so it's better, so it's more realistic dramatization. I mean, yeah. So you gonna come to the room? What you mean, what for? You know what for. Smiley face, eggplant. You know what I mean? She probably a soul sucker, nigga. Looking at her face. If I had to guess, see that mouth she got? She got a mouth. MOUF. But yeah, man. Every day people need something new to talk about. They know that. You know what I mean? And this was just something new to talk about. Cheated on Nia Long. Can you believe it? That nigga fool. Couldn't be me. Huh, shit. Nia Long? I was like, have you seen her lately? She's still beautiful, but she's not like, you know what I mean? It ain't like it used to be. And then that nigga fucking her. You never fucking Nia Long. You never smelled that bitch. You know what I mean? So for you to say, that was me, yeah, nigga, but guess what? If you was married to her for 10 years, you probably bored of that bitch too, nigga. What you mean? Like, people wear me out with that shit. I was watching some shit earlier too. They was talking like male celebrities who got ugly ass wives. That shit was disrespectful, nigga. Yo, that shit was fucking rude. And I'm like, yo, having these people on Twitter saying this shit is like, you supposed to be progressive. Like, you sitting there like, she's ugly as fuck. What is he doing with her and all this? Like, aren't you supposed to be like supportive and shit? Like, isn't that supposed to be MO? Positive and all that shit? Like, what are you doing? Why are you being so mean? Yo, the craziest shit was Hugh Jackman's wife. She definitely she's like a high school principal, like an old you know what I mean, saggy high school principal lady. But she had she was with Hugh Jackman. She had on this big ass shirt, like just a big ass button up shirt, like smock style, like smock size. And somebody was like, it like she got hand me downs from Monique's TV show. Zing. Damn. And then the dude from Power, I don't know his name. The guy who plays Mike Power, is that the guy? Is that the main character's name in Power? Mike Power. But the guy who plays the main Power in Power, his wife, I guess, is some she is weird. She has some weird looking white lady. So of course all the black bitches coming at him like, oh, he married to this white woman and she ugly. Somebody said this bitch looked like Gary Oldman in somebody said this bitch looked like Gary Oldman in fucking what's that movie called? Fifth Element. If you ever seen The Fifth Element, the bad guy in Fifth Element, the white guy with the half hair and the fucking I was like, yo, y'all ain't shit. Then they said the bitch like Steve Nash. I'm like, yo, y'all are mean as fuck. Damn, man. I thought I was just a tad rude. I thought I was just a bit rude. Y'all heartless, man. Heartless as shit. But yeah, man. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and lock it on up. That was a cool little test run. Talked about some current events.